turn. He shoots, and that one squeezes in.
Opportunity for Charlotte off the set piece. It is going to be the man out of Poland. The shot. Yes!
It's Kalsiva, and it's got in. It's an Olympico. Shiki pulls it back. The shot, and another goal.
And whoop, who's coming on? Ryan Romero. Here's Romero. Hit the shot, kid.
Goal!
For the city, for the crown.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Offsides Podcast, the unofficial official podcast of Charlotte Football Club. Of course, I'm your co-host, Pablo Robledo. Just kidding. I'm Andres Robledo. Pablo is the co-host. Here he is. Pablo, how's it going?
I'm the main host.
You're the main co-host. That is correct.
Co-host to the regional branch.
Yeah, you are the Dwight Schrute of this podcast.
I dare you.
Which makes me the Michael Scott.
At least I got a farm.
And I scammed a bunch of kids out of college tuition.
Sure.
Oh, man. Pablo, how's the week been going? We're finally doing an earlier podcast.
Yeah, what is it, like 2 days earlier?
Yeah.
Or maybe 3, who knows?
Yeah.
2 days actually. Week has been good. Got in another golf round on Monday after work. Getting back into the groove of things.
Tiger Woods, y'all. Tiger Woods, y'all.
Good movie.
Yeah, that's such a niche reference. I don't know if anyone will get that.
Underrated movie.
That is an underrated movie.
Or maybe we were just too young to know any better.
Yeah, that might be it. Oh.
Nick Cannon's hilarious.
There's a lot of weird quotes like that just a lot of people don't get.
It's all right.
Yeah. I got mud butt. Anyways, another would you call this a successful Charlotte FC weekend or non-successful?
That's a good question. I mean, I think overall against the team that we played this past weekend and the weekend before, but especially this one, I would say successful.
Yeah, same. That's how I was feeling about it. A lot of people had it as an L before the match even started, so.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. The only, drawback for it is, Cincinnati's very late goal.
Yeah.
And that was a big letdown.
Yeah.
Because it just felt we were there. We were there.
Remnants of last season a little bit, right?
Yeah. But then again, still undefeated at home.
Mm-hmm. Heard
So there's
that.
Wish I didn't hear that. I heard that.
Oh God. Yeah. All right, so let's jump into the show. We've done enough enough goofing around. But
Where's it from?
that's from Pineapple Express.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
When Seth Rogen's visiting his high school girlfriend when he's like 25.
Let's go Galaxy.
Oh gosh.
I think that was like one true defining moment where I was like, "This is why I will never like MLS."
That's from that's a different movie. But same guy. That's the same guy.
Yeah.
That's from
Yeah, you're right. It is from a different movie.
Oh my gosh, that's Jason Segel's in it. It's Paul Rudd. Is it I Love You, Man? That's it.
Oh yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
love you, man. All right, we're not talking.
Yeah.
About
Let's go, Galaxy. Yeah. Yeah, that was a big step back for MLS. that took us back like 6 years.
Maybe more.
Yeah, you're probably right. Probably more. Yeah. All right. So, not a lot of news or updates this week from our end. So let's just jump straight into the recap as we're already kind of jumping into it, anyways. I think this is going to be a fun one to talk about. But Cincinnati, I think they were number one in the East. They still might be. Came to visit. They were undefeated. Only 2 goals allowed, which is a pretty wild
Still
stat.
undefeated.
Yeah, still undefeated. Well, like I said, a lot. They came to the Bank of America Stadium. I think a lot of people had us out of like no chance of winning, and I think this was like a huge statement game. Even though it ended 1-1 and we gave up a late goal, I'd say like this game we pretty much. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like we kind of dominated for like 80% of the game, maybe even more.
It felt like it, right? We were making chances. Some of them not so great, but we were, at least trying.
Yeah.
We weren't just playing like defensive, knocking the ball around in the midfield. Like we were creating chances. Cincinnati wasn't creating that many chances, but when they did, they felt a lot more threatening than what ours did.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like Kalina had to earn his paycheck that Saturday.
Yeah, he had some big saves. Yeah, I feel like
Big saves.
this was the most like aggressive we've looked. The midfield I thought the midfield was like really clicking and just keeping the ball when they had to, and then just also being like very direct with it, which was great to see. It gave Vargas a lot of chances. I thought Osimhen did pretty well also. But let's jump into the starting lineup. A couple changes, right? Compared to last week.
You got that pulled up. I don't have the lineup pulled up.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up. So still Kalina in goal, which is totally fine. Backline, Euron comes back in to start. Other than that, everything's the same. Privet, Mlanda, Burn. Yeah, I think that João Pedro and Euron is that's going to be a battle with for that starting position. I think Euron's got it on lock for now, but like any mistake or any opportunity, I think we got a good backup in João Pedro.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
The midfield, I really like the look of this midfield. Pekovic, Diani, and Westwood. Westwood and Pekovic playing the number 8 roles, which is awesome. I prefer to see Westwood further up the field because he can hit that like recycle ball and score some bangers. Diani did great in that holding midfield role, and Pekovic, he's I think going to be an exciting young guy to watch. Not afraid to pull the trigger, aggressive, press as well, good ball control. So excited to see him get his.
He even had a shot.
Yeah,
not on goal, but he took a chance there.
Yeah, from outside the box too, which is something we've been asking for a while.
Yes.
And then starting up top, Osimhen again, and then Dejager and Vargas up front on the wings. I thought they all had pretty decent games. I've got some stuff to say on Vargas, but we can get to that in a bit. But yeah, thought a good starting lineup so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure. I like the I don't know, I'm starting to I would say Osimhen looked really good in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Really good, especially when we were sending those long balls, which is like something I guess Capetti is, how he likes to throw balls and all that.
Yeah,
but he just never seems to really do anything with.
Mm-hmm.
Osimhen didn't score, but man, he came close a couple times.
Yeah,
and as far as like 1-on-1 on a speed test, he was beating that back line just about any time a long overhead ball came his way.
Yeah, and that back line is, it's pretty stacked, honestly. Matt Miyazaga, Miles Robinson joined from Atlanta, and then DeAndre Yedlin playing as a wing back for them. Like, those are 3 pretty big superstars there. And I thought our offense handled them pretty well.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned earlier, Cincinnati's only let in now 3 goals.
Yeah.
And and we're at 5, which is I would say about average for the mid-table teams, such as we are.
Mm-hmm.
But I think our back line holding Cincinnati to 0 for as long as they did really puts a statement out there. It's like this is a strong defense that Charlotte has.
Yeah.
You know, if we can improve a little bit on the finishing, because we're creating chances, but if we can really focus on just improving that, I could see Charlotte and then, you know, as high as 5th. Or, yeah, I would say just on high hopes as high as 5th.
Dang, 5th. Yeah, that's pretty high up there.
Yeah, we just, honestly, if we can finish out some of these chances that we've created, Vargas putting in some headers or Ajiman getting it on target more. Because that one shot he had, it was a strong shot. It was just outside,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Interesting thing looking at our record so far. You said, we've let in 5 goals, but in no game have we been scored on more than once except the Nashville game, and one of those was a PK. So I think, that goes to show the back line is just like super, super tight right now.
Yeah. I think besides Cincinnati, Atlanta has 4 that they've let in, and then we have 5. So does Toronto. But then everybody else is 6 or more. Looking at 8s, some 11s. 13 for Chicago, but they're still holding number 12, so that's good Lord.
Yeah.
They've let in 13, but they put in 9 goals. It's pretty good.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
See, we need more goals. That's what.
Yeah, we need
That's
someone to
what it
start
is.
scoring.
Yeah,
Start
our goal
converting some of
differential
these.
right now is 1, whereas Atlanta has 5.
Yeah.
But-
Excuse me. Yeah, we need to find someone who can just start converting some of these chances.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's Ajiming, Vargas, what is
Petty.
yeah. Well, nah, I've given up on him.
So, I guess we can let's talk about it shortly about that. Is Ajiman, this is his 3rd straight start.
Yep.
He's got more goals than Capetti so far. How many does Capetti have? 0? like it's 0.
0 or 1, yeah.
Yeah. Ajiman has 1, but I feel like Ajiman, especially after this last game, has been more threatening than Capetti.
Yeah, it feels like he's got better odds of actually scoring.
Yeah. But I also feel like Capetti has, assisted in some of the goals that Charlotte has put in. So it's still, as far as the front man there, the main striker, it's still a bit of a toss-up. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Capetti starting next game.
Man, yeah. Yeah, I think Capetti doesn't have any goals. I was just looking through all the results. Yeah, so Ajiming has 1 goal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really thought Ajiming looked way better. I mean, granted, he had way more time to play this game, but when Capetti came in, to me, it did look like a pretty big downgrade up front. Even just from pressing, holding the ball up, passing. I think Capetti was only in for maybe 15, maybe 20 minutes, but when he was in, it just felt like as soon as he got the ball, it was like a turnover. He just did not look that good. Granted, earlier this season, he did look way better holding the ball up and distributing, so maybe he just needs to get back into the groove of things. But just from that game alone, it didn't look that good for him.
No, yeah. And, I have to take back as far as the assist. He has 0 assists. So,
Yeah.
who knows?
We'll have to
Looks like
keep an eye on it.
if he doesn't start next weekend, then That'll be your answer there.
Yeah, yeah. So anything to talk about in the first half? I mean, I think a lot of the action came in the second, from, goal scoring perspective. I mean, there's a lot of chances in that first half. Like I said, I felt like,
Yeah, like right off the bat, there's a nice through ball to Vargas.
Yeah.
minute and a half into the game, we start out strong and we don't really let up.
yeah,
I think on the first half, correct me if I'm wrong, but SofaScore has them at like it's almost like a 60-40 split for possession. Right now.
57-43.
Right, yeah, so almost if you round up 60-40.
Yeah, so Cincinnati had 60, we had 40. But we had 7 total shots, same as them. 1 on target, they had 2. We each had 1 block shot.
Mm-hmm.
Man, all right, let's talk about Vargas though, because he in that first half alone could have had like a hat trick. It seemed like. Are we a little bit worried about his performances so far this season?
I would say, I mean, yes and no.
Definitely didn't come out the
bit.
way we thought he was going to come out.
No, yeah, I thought he would have had at least 2 or 3 goals. By now, because he started getting hot towards the end of last season, bit. But he's always a threatening player. I don't know. I mean, he creates chances. He just needs to finish it, and I think that's not a problem that's just specifically him. It's a lot of our forward guys,
Yeah.
Pekovic could have done better on that shot. Even going back further, Uranon in Arfield could have put in better free kicks, because those were, golden spots for a good free kick taker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Capetti, same deal, just not closing out on opportunities. So I think it's an issue that we're having just with our forward guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vargas is getting, I would say, more of those chances than those guys I mentioned, though.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people thought this was going to be the season he kind of stepped up a bit more as a goal scorer and more consistent player, especially like, so. Gaines and Yazwick are gone. Like, he's definitely kind of more of the main guy now. I think going forward it'll be like him and Adaba, or Adaba and Tavares, but I'm hoping it'll be Vargas and Adaba. Hopefully that's how you pronounce that guy's name. But yeah,
even Adaba, he had I know we're kind of getting to the second half a bit, but even Adaba had a chance and he missed.
Yeah. That's true, but he did. I want to see what he. Yeah, I want to see what he does with like a full 90. I think that'll be interesting. But he definitely looked threatening. That was for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So just quickly to wrap up the Vargas thing, like I'm not worried because he's getting into those good spots. Hopefully he starts converting them, and again, like I think we've talked about it before with Vargas. Like, he is a guy who, once he does get hot, he kind of holds on to that for a bit. And with Dean Smith, definitely like is rewarding consistent performances and trusting guys, week in and week out. Like, I think that'll be huge for him once he actually, puts 1 or 2 in the back of the net.
I can agree with that.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm looking over the timeline here that if you go on the Charlotte FC app, it kind of shows you a timeline of events. And so far, I'm looking at, Vargas attempts, it was blocked or missed, but he's got 1, 2, he's got at least 3 or 4 on here throughout the whole game where it's just, attempted but missed or attempted but blocked.
Yeah. I mean, he had the shot, like you said, at the
38.
beginning of the game. He had that free header from the first corner kick.
Uh-huh.
I think he definitely had another like kind of breakaway style thing as well. I mean, that was the biggest takeaway for me, was just like how well the midfield was moving the ball
Yeah.
to the wingers, like to set them up onto like one-on-ones or breakaways. Like, I thought they were like very direct with the ball compared to seasons past, where it's like so slow or just playing it backwards and
Yeah.
like trying to build
just
up.
resetting the play over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, much slower. Much slower.
Even like when the wingers got the ball, like they were just going forward, like they were taking their one-on-one, or before they used to just like immediately turn it back to the outside back. So I think you'd start seeing his Dean Smith's like play style come into play a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so I was thinking one thing we could do that I thought might be interesting was put it in the notes as MVP of the season, but I kind of want to change it to best player in each position right now. So we'll do, goalie, defender, midfielder, and then forward, and just kind of see who the stars of the team are right now. So I'll give you a second or two to think about it. And
Goalie's an obvious.
George Marks. Yeah, I knew that's where you're going with that.
He has let 0 goals in.
Yeah, most clean sheets. No, so obviously we only have Kalina to talk about right now. I think he's done a fine job. Nothing.
He did a really good job this last game. I mean, that first the only real chance, well, not the only real chance. Let me rephrase that. The Cincinnati forward got us, I would say, as far in the box as close to like the penalty marker. That's how far away he was from like the goal. Maybe a little further out, but not much. And Kalina did a real good job saving that. He also did a real good job of watching those outside shots. Sometimes goalkeepers tend to misjudge those or just not react fast enough, even though they're coming from outside. But he had at least 3 outside shots that I can recall that he blocked. 2 lows and 1 high.
Yeah, the one high.
Really. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one high. I was kind of wishing he would have caught that a little bit, but like in the heat of that moment, I'm sure it's probably unexpected, and it kind of, when you watch the replay, you see it kind of just knuckles down and stuff. But Cincinnati were taking some pretty long range shots, and he did well with them. This was definitely one of his better games, but as from like a season perspective, like I think he's been pretty fine, like
yeah, especially, and like you mentioned, that one outside shot, like if anything, I would be worried if he tries to catch it, that it slips through.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
but I'm still perfectly fine with Kalina as a starting goalie. I wouldn't mind seeing what Marks has, but at this point, why mess with it?
This is why I wish we were still in the Open Cup.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, right.
Yeah,
give Marks all those chances.
Yeah, not only that, but then like all the guys that have been on the bench lately, like they could play, get some minutes. Yeah, and Crown Legacy lost. They're already out of the Open Cup now too.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it was not a great look, but all right. Let's move on to defender. I think this one will be a lot more interesting. So let's hear. You want to go first? Or you want me to go?
For the defense, I mean, that's a tough one. There's so many good guys that we have back there that could probably deserve it for.
Yeah, I think you can make a case for all 4 guys. But,
between all 4 guys that we have back there, the 2 that really stand out to me is Malanda and Burns.
Interesting.
I like Burns a little more, for the fact that he plays really far up with the offense when we're attacking.
Yeah.
and then he, when the opposing team has the ball, he flies down and still plays aggressively. He knows how to make smart tackles. Against Cincinnati, he had 1 or 2 inside the box where it looked like any other time, a PK might have been called, but he just, made sure that didn't happen. Just pressured the offensive player.
Yeah.
So for that reason alone, I would say he's probably my MVP on that back line.
Okay. Nice. Like I said, I think you can make a case for all 4 guys. I like the case you made for Byrne. He does great getting up and connecting with Vargas, and no matter how far up he gets, he definitely recovers and is back there. Which is great to see. And he's been so solid this season. Especially compared to last season, around this time period.
Last season I was not a big fan of him. But this season he seems to kind of maybe recognize his faults or where he needed to improve on, and he seems to have done that. Or maybe he's just finally coming around. It takes some time, but either way, he stepped it up.
Yeah, I think not only his, but that whole back line, their roles have been simplified a lot compared to last season, where one of them would become a midfielder and someone had to rotate, and then when they recovered, they were doing all this, rotating nonsense stuff to recover, and the timings weren't right, and we would always get caught on breakaways. Like, I think Dean Smith has just really simplified it and been like, Malanda, Privet, you guys stay back. Opposite,
and that's
outside back, you stay back. And then the
right. I mean, that's
side.
why we lost a lot of games or gave up so many leads last season, is because of what we just mentioned, is getting caught on the counterattack. When we're on the offensive side, we have Burns and Urinan helping out the attack, but Privet and Malanda have done an excellent job of making sure the counterattack does not happen.
Yeah.
Like a really good job at that. Whereas last year we really struggled. So like you said, it's hard to pinpoint it to just one guy on the defensive because they have been so solid so far this season.
Yep. Yeah. So for me, I think my answer might surprise you a little bit, but I'm going to go with Andrew Privet because I think he doesn't get the praise he deserves. And I actually think he has been a little bit tighter than Malanda. I think he's made a little bit less mistakes than him. And his distribution, especially this game, really surprised me. Like, he had like a one-touch switch pass to Vargas while a guy was like pressuring him. Like, he's just done really well on the ball, and then like come in some really big clutch saves as well. He had one in this game in particular where he cuts a pass and is able to clear it out. And I think just this whole season so far, he's been just a little bit cleaner and a little bit more reliable than Malanda. And again, it's not by a big margin or anything, but I think the thing that takes it over the line for me is his passing, especially his long-range passing, and the fact that he has gotten up and like taken a couple shots as well. So like he could be a goal-scoring center back. Obviously, Malanda already has a goal, so he's got that going for him. But I just think he's been, again, just a little cleaner in the back line, and then just a little bit better with his passing. So I'm gonna give it to Privet so far.
I'm good with that actually. I mean, for all those reasons.
Yeah, I really like seeing him play, especially that long pass he can hit to switch the field and stuff. Like, that's something I remember like always being available last season, and like no one would ever switch the ball. And so it's nice to see like him just do it, especially like a one touch. And I thought he combined with Diani really well too to get the ball out of pressure.
Yeah. He always seems to kind of be there for like a relief pass as well. So
yeah. Yep.
Making the smart play on the open space.
Yeah.
But that's a good pick. What's next? Which one's next? Midfield?
Yep. Let's jump to midfield. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go?
I'll just keep going. So midfield, I'm definitely gonna give it up to the captain.
El Capitan. The bulldog.
Yeah. The old Cappy.
The English bulldog.
He always seems to kind of like just making sure he sticks up for his players when there's been a foul, or he's the first one to get the yellow.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind. I like a good strong captain like that. He's a threat on the offense. He's a good defensive player and getting not the rebound, but getting the ball back in the midfield.
Yeah.
He's a good all-around player.
Yeah. Yeah, I call him the bulldog, but he's definitely much more like a boxer,
Yeah,
Just,
you're right.
If you hurt one of his people, he's in your face, he's ready to scrap. He's just always ready to throw down, I feel like.
Yes, yeah. So Ashley Westwood is the pick for me.
All right, that's actually who I was gonna pick as well. But
of course.
I will say I think that could switch pretty quickly. I need to see 1 or 2 more games, but I think Diani might be that guy. This game really converted me. There was a lot of little stuff that just impressed the heck out of me, where I was like, oh, he kind of is a better version of Derek Jones now. I'm kind of okay to admit that or see that now. But there was some stuff he was doing where Jones was very good at receiving the ball and holding it to let a play develop. He's just really good at one touch passing it. It's almost like the QB toss or whatever to running backs, and they find the big hole. He kind of does that. He just does these little one touches when guys are pressing him, that just lets Malanda or Privet get enough time and space to find a pass, or for Westwood to find a pass. He just really knows how to stay cool under pressure, move the ball, and then again he can also dribble with it, and we saw him be able to draw that PK, put the PK away, which is huge. So I need to see 1 or 2 more performances, but I think he's my second choice and could potentially be in another 5 to 10 games be my choice for MVP midfielder. But for right now, I'll go with Westwood as well.
Yeah. Well, just to kind of make an example of it there, we saw that, what you just said, in the 53rd minute, where, he wins the ball back, he holds it, gives it to Westwood, and then Westwood's able to send a deep pass to Ajiman, and fortunately Ajiman misses, but it's a quick developmental play, and we're catching now other teams on counterattacks, which I like to see. We're not taking forever to develop a play. It's just we have a somewhat of a good counterattack strategy as well.
Yeah. Agreed.
Who's that leave? Our forwards, kind of?
Yeah, we can put forwards and wingers together.
Group them there.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as on forwards, I can't really do anything with Ajiman or Capetti. I mean, Ajiman, I've been giving him a lot of crap, but he's only put in the 1 goal. But for this one, I'm going to go with Tavares, even though he didn't even start last game. But to me, Tavares seems a better left winger. And more, I should have put this, he's more of a threat from the games I've seen him play in. I don't want to say first, on the home opener. Was it the home opener?
Yeah, he almost scored off the corner, right?
Yeah, he almost
Malanda
scored.
got the goal off
it
of?
went to Malanda. He has put one in.
Yeah, he scored the next game against Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Or Vancouver, maybe. One of the two.
Yeah. Tall, physical guy. So I like Tavares, and I wish he was starting more. I'm wondering if, Coach Dean prefers Desiree better. I don't have a problem with Desiree, but I don't feel like Desiree is as threatening. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like he's not there all the way. I just noticed Tavares a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
Even though he didn't start, I'm gonna just give it to Tavares, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the guy I've been backing since last season. I'm gonna go with Ajiming. Got the goal last game. Has looked pretty decent up front, and then this game, I think he took that confidence and kept it going. Could have easily had 1 or 2 goals this past game.
Yeah.
Looked really good on the defensive side of the ball too, of like starting the press. And I think he's gonna continue to get better, and hopefully if he gets a couple more opportunities and stuff, I think he'll step up and back a couple more goals, and I think we'll probably get more production out of him than Copetti. So I'm gonna give it to Ajiming.
Yeah. I mean, even though Capetti came on late, he had at least 2 chances to just at least shoot the ball.
Yeah.
And I feel like he just took too long, like just waiting on supportive players. I'm just like, dude, there's only one defensive guy on you, and you're so close. Like, just take the shot.
Yeah.
Worst thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna miss, and so what? Like everybody else has missed too.
Yeah. I mean, like when Pekovic took his shot, I think the announcers were saying like, oh, like if that goes in, he's a hero. But since it went like way over, he's probably will probably get talked to about like you should have looked for other chances. And I remember being like, man, like by the time he took that shot, like Vargas had already had a couple chances, Ejagui had a couple, like Ajiming had 1 or 2. I was like, all those guys had chances already. Like I'm okay with him like taking a chance also, and same result as what other guys have gotten. And
Yeah.
like so it's kind of similar thing. And the one of how you're talking about like Copetti had a chance or two and he just wouldn't shoot. Like one that really sticks out to me is the chance Ajiming had in the 54th minute, where like the ball's bouncing over his head. He like settles it. It kind of starts bouncing, and the defender kind of starts pushing into him, and he still like is able to get a shot off like just wide of the goal. And that's definitely a chance that like Copetti would never take. Like as soon as he felt contact, he would have dove or something.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I slightly prefer Ajiming a little more over Capetti, is because Ajiming, he has that physicality to him that he's able to just sometimes outpower the defender and take the shot. He just needs to dial it in a little better.
Yeah.
And they'll start going in. And like you said, once like last week, his confidence definitely grew after that goal. You could see it this game for sure. He was playing more aggressively, trying to keep that streak going, and good on him for it. Because that's the only way you're gonna really keep that start and roll.
Yeah, I agree. And I think even last game there was like a chance or two that I remember we were like we saw Ajiming take him, and we were like, yeah, Copetti would never have taken a chance there. And I just feel like that's still the case, and as long as that's the case, want to see Ajiming stay in the starting lineup.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that right now.
Yeah. All right, thought that was something interesting to do, kind of break up the normal routine a little bit. Moving on to the next thing here. 7 games in, how are we looking compared to what we thought before the season started? Why don't you kick us off on that one? So, I mean, how have your thoughts and expectations on the team changed since preseason?
I think we're looking good, home matches it's starting to liven up a little bit again. We haven't lost any at home. We did good on this last road trip that we took. We at least got 1 point out of it. We've already played some tough teams and came out with either a win or a tie. I think Charlotte is a team that was highly underrated because of everything that was happening, new coach, late transfers, and a lot of people didn't really see us as a threat. And I think that might have actually helped us in the end, because we're if you're looking at table standings right now, we're in playoff standings.
Yeah, we're 8th, right?
So, I think we're actually 9th.
Either way.
Yeah, but we're right there. We're right there at the edge of it. I think a lot of people didn't really see Charlotte being so high up in the tables at all, even as of right now. They probably saw us. A lot of people I heard saying Charlotte was going to finish like 12th or 13th, which, I hope doesn't happen. But looking at the trend, I don't think we're going to finish that low as some predictions came.
I agree, and I think we've had a pretty tough start also. Like, we've had some big tests already, like Nashville, Columbus, and Cincinnati. I think all those guys are like, those are tough matches. So
yeah, I mean Cincinnati's sitting at number 1, Miami's trailing them, and then Columbus is right after that.
yeah,
So, like you said, tough teams. Toronto's in 5th. We played them. Only lost by the 1 goal. Vancouver's a West team, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Vancouver, they're second on the Western Conference. So another tough team. We tied them on the road. Nashville is back on Eastern. Nashville is on the 11th. They're in the 11th spot, so a little bit below us, not too far. So I think we've been performing quite well for what people predicted.
Yeah, agree.
Higher than what I expected them to, especially, 7 games in so far? 6? Yeah, 6 games in.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Like, especially, I mean, I I was definitely on the boat of like this might be an 0-5 start or 0-6 start.
Right.
I think I was like optimistic, like we might get a couple ties here and there, maybe 1 win, and I mean we've really done a lot better than I thought, and even then like what the points and the records say, I think we got 2 draws, 2 losses, 1 win. I still think like the performances have been better than that. Both those draws could have easily been wins, and even the loss to Nashville could have been a tie, to say the least. So the performances actually on the field definitely speak higher than what the results have been, and only a matter of time before that goes the other way to where it's starting to match the performances on the field. But yeah, I'm in that same boat of like, I thought this was going to be kind of a rough season and maybe playoffs wouldn't be in the picture, and it's going to be all for building towards next year. But I think this year will, definitely going to be, I think, some kind of playoff contender. That 5th through 9th spot I really like for us. And I think we'll be like more in the middle of the table for a lot longer this season than like having to claw our way up to like 9th or 8th towards the end of the season. I think we'll like be a resident there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, similar to like we did last year, where it's like we just barely made it.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we're at 9th, but that could easily change in our favor in the next couple of games. Who do we got next?
We got New England next.
New England's sitting comfortably at 15th.
We got 4 losses, 1 draw.
Yeah. Then after that, to Toronto. That'll be another test, but that's at home, so the home crowd always helps.
Yep.
And then Minnesota. Minnesota's what, Western?
Yeah, they're a Western team. They're tough. They're a pretty tough team. We got some
tough team. Yeah, they're sitting at 4th. So, but again, we thought Columbus was gonna be, although we had some things going our favor, but that's just the way it goes. But you never know what might happen. Like Cincinnati, I didn't think we were even gonna score, and just for the fact that like Cincinnati had not let that many goals in.
Yeah, that's something we didn't even mention either. Was like the team looked way better than they did against Columbus.
Right. Yeah. If you recall last week's episode is when we were, talking next match predictions and we're looking over Cincinnati stats. It's like, wow, like they've only let 2 goals in. They have not lost a game. This looks like a real test, and we tied them, so not bad.
Yeah, agree.
And we tied them while putting, the third goal for their season in. So Charlotte's on their list now.
Yeah. All right. I think that's pretty much gonna wrap up our whole recap section of the match. Like we mentioned, we're gonna be playing New England away. New England have been kind of a not rival. That's not the right word, but kind of a little bit of our kryptonite. We're a 3-1 against them in head-to-head, so they've always seemed to be able to get results against us. Hopefully that doesn't, continue. And again, being on the road is always a little bit tougher. Are you expecting to see any changes to the lineup, or how do you think Dean Smith's going to handle this one?
Obviously, Kalina and the back line stay the same. Diani and Westwood are going to start. Vargas is going to start. The only real toss-ups I see there is going to be between Ajiman and Capetti and Dejeri and Tavares. Whether it's Dejeri or Tavares, they're both good players, both a threat in their own different ways. And I'm kind of with you. I'm hopping on the bandwagon. I want to see Ajiman. I want to see Ajiman for another start.
Yeah, I agree.
He needs an away game start to really see if he's up for it or not.
Yeah, that'll be a good test. And again, the way New England have been playing, like maybe hopefully we can kind of dominate this game, beat him up a little bit, and really get him, started on that goal production. Maybe get 1 or 2 in and start building up that confidence. Take it back home against Toronto. This would be a good kind of springboard for, I would say, Ajiman and Vargas this season. And Abada. Hopefully that's how you say it. He could come in and make an immediate impact and kind of live up to that hype a little bit, which he almost did this past week. So this game could be a real good momentum builder. So I'm looking forward to it.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, I don't think Abada will start next game, but I think he'll probably come in earlier just to see, like, where he's at as far as skill and, I think skill is probably there. I mean, he did good with the Celtics. Was it with the Celtics? Yeah. Celtics. And I don't think Charlotte would have drafted him if they didn't think he was good. But, just developing that team chemistry and, just seeing how he performs under, game time pressure.
Yeah.
I would expect him to come in at an earlier sub than usual. Maybe like 55th minute.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Especially, I think he flew in Friday and then still ended up playing. So
right. Yeah. So they're expecting, and as a YDP, they're expecting a lot out of him.
Yeah.
So I would say he's probably going to be a starter in the near future.
Yeah, I agree. If not this game, probably the game after. But yeah, they'll probably build him up a bit.
Yeah.
Any score predictions?
Yeah. I would say Charlotte pulls this one 2-0.
2-0, nice.
Yeah, Ajiman puts one in, and let's hope Vargas puts one in.
Yeah, I'd like to see those guys start getting on the goal score.
Yeah. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to be even a little more optimistic of 3-0. I want to see, Ajiman get 1 or 2, and then, I would love for Vargas or Abada or even Tavares to kind of get a goal in as well to really, seal the deal of the game and just start building up that attack and hopefully start seeing them click and bring that goal scoring power back home.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of question about why is Tavares not starting, because he is one of our guys that has scored and helped in the scoring situations. Where as far as like Dejeri, he's there, and he's a threat. He's just, to me, he hasn't been as good. But at this point, I'm also not questioning him very much because, I'm a guy that I don't think we have given too much credit to is Coach Dean. Like like you mentioned earlier, we thought this year was going to be all about rebuilding and redefining Charlotte, but he seems to have done that already. Like, if the season was about to end, I would not be upset if this was our starter lineup for next season. Like, we have to find a couple better subs, but as far as like who's starting in, I think we have a real good squad.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about the potential of like upgrading a better DP for Capetti, and then we still have a DP slot. So it's like, with as good as this squad is, I mean, there's even room for improvements. Like, you could bring in another two kind of next level guys as well, which is always, that's kind of crazy. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they put full faith in Ajimeng and brought in like another like DP winger and then like a DP like attacking mid or something, and really just build around that. Like, I think that could be pretty incredible.
Yeah, I like your idea of trading Capetti for another good DP. Just for the fact that we could, we could put Ajimeng on the bench knowing that if anything happens injury-wise or anything to the other guy, Ajimeng is a good sub.
Yeah, I agree. All right, that's pretty much gonna be a wrap for us here. Do you have any shout outs or anything?
Not really. Just a couple of comments on some trolling I did when I saw what's his name's post. What's that guy's name now? I forget. That's how irrelevant he is. Suarez.
Oh.
There was a post out there saying, it says, never forget when Luis Suarez appealed for a handball on the goalkeeper. I was like, that right there goes to show you
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. He's saying that the goalie had a handball, and he's had 2 handballs.
And like 3 bites.
2 handballs, 3 bites. So I put on there, I said, what did I put on there? Oh, it said he's the handball king and biter. And then there were some people not too happy with that. Probably from Uruguay.
Yeah. He's got a lot of fans.
If you guys want to give you a shout out, just comment on any of our posts, send in an email. We got Chris Hagart might be sending us a jersey. That's cool.
Yeah, shout out Chris Hagart.
Shout out.
He did respond to our message a little bit.
Yeah. I think he might have got hacked. He probably doesn't even know he responded.
Yeah, we did ask him to send us a Stabæk jersey, since that's his current club, which would be sweet. Because I mean, how many people are gonna have that kind of jersey? So that'd be pretty cool to have. Man, he's a guy I kind of wish would have stuck around, because I think Dean Smith could have done something interesting with him.
I feel the same way. I was happy with him.
Just never got his chance, but I feel like when he did play, he looked good.
Yeah, he looked good. He was quick. He reminded me a lot of Ben Bender, where like, he could help develop the play, or he could also get into that space and be just a good attacking player. And
he was like,
we just had too many people on the midfield roster.
Yeah, but he was one of the few guys that like would actually dribble at players, or like, pass it forward, or like, take one-on-ones during a time that like guys were just being so conservative with the ball, under Mar and under Latanzio. So it's just like, man, I think he could have really benefited from Dean Smith's style, which sucks.
Hopefully we get him back.
Yeah, and he's playing in Europe now, playing in Norway, so that's got to be cool.
Which is not a bad thing, It's a different style of play over there. Maybe he'll learn something. I'm sure his game will only improve from being over there. And I'm not just saying this so we get a jersey out of the guy, but like, I really did like Chris Hagart. Otherwise, I wouldn't be following him on Instagram. I don't know if you follow him on X, but usually like some of these players that we have let go, I was 100% behind the staff, and I was like, yep, unfollow.
Yeah.
Did not make the list. But, there's some players that we have let go. Like Jones, I still like to see where he's at. Rojas.
Danny Rojas.
It's not Rojas, was it? No. It was
Ruiz?
No. Ruiz, that's right.
Yeah.
Not Rojas. That's funny. Who was the other guy that we like? Oh, Gaines. I like to keep up on Gaines.
Unfollowed.
No way. You better not. I'm gonna check now. You probably did.
Just kidding. No, yeah. No, and you can actually audit us on that. We've talked about Chris Hagard in season 1 and 2. You can go back and listen to those episodes where we talk about him. We've always said good things about him. So, Chris, if you're listening, send us that jersey. Yeah. So no shout outs on my end either. I feel like I did have a funny bit, but I already forgot it because we got distracted. But yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. That's gonna be it from us. We'll be back next week after a road win against Nueva England.
Boston.
And yeah, it should be a nice little winning streak start for Charlotte.
Yeah, we need an away win. And
Absolutely.
I think it starts with New England.
Absolutely. All right, we will catch you guys next week. Laters.
Bye.
Wow, wow, wow. You got to love that.